Week 6 of the fantasy football season. Here's the top 12 kickers I'm ranking this week. Number 1, Justin Tucker of the Baltimore Ravens. So this Raven offense definitely has had some problems over the last few weeks, not scoring the football a lot. Justin Tucker, he's been getting minimum opportunities, but they got to go back to the drawing board and back to the basics, I think. Here's this Baltimore Raven team where they're moving the football at a good pace, not wasting plays with trickery and stuff like that. So this week at a Tennessee Titan team that's a bend but don't break type of defense, I think Justin Tucker will get back into good rhythm in this one and have a good fantasy day. And I got him in 1. Number 2, Evan McPherson of the Cincinnati Bengals. So in the games the Bengals have won this season, McPherson's had double-digit fantasy points in both games. And this week here, a good matchup versus the Seattle Seahawks, where their defense isn't all that great. So McPherson has a big boot. He could kick it from anywhere on the field. And this Cincinnati Bengal team, I think they're getting healthier and they're going to get things going. Like we saw last week, Chase and Burrow back on the same page. Burrow looked the healthiest he has all season with a few plays we had to take off and run. And this week versus Seattle, I think we're going to see some field goal opportunities and maybe 1 or 2 50-yarders in this one. Number 3, Harrison Butker of the Kansas City Chiefs. So Harrison Butker, he's been solid this season for this Kansas City Chiefs team. And Thursday Night Football versus the Denver Broncos, one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the league. It's pretty close with them and the Carolina Panthers this season. So Harrison Butker, we know he's got a big boot. He's in a high-powered offense, even though they've had some trouble at times punching in the red zone. Really have a number 1 wide receiver. So right now, what a good match up versus Denver in a game that's going to be high scoring from the Chiefs end, I believe. I got him at 3. Number 4, Jake Elliott of the Philadelphia Eagles. So Jake Elliott, he's been one of the best kickers this season here. 5 double-digit fantasy games to start the season off. And this week at a bend but don't break New York Jet defense, I think the opportunities will be there once again where they're going to stall out some drives and have to settle for field goals. And he's got great accuracy and he's hitting it right down the middle. So right now with a high-powered offense and a defense that doesn't give up a lot of touchdowns but gives up a decent amount of points through field goals, I like Elliott at 4. Number 5, Tyler Bass of the Buffalo Bills. So this could be a lot of touchdowns for the Bills and not settling for field goals versus the New York Giants. They have one of the worst defenses in the league. So Bass, another kicker that could kick it from 50+. I know it's going to be a Sunday night game where the wind could be howling over there in Buffalo. But anyway, Tyler Bass over the last 2-3 seasons has been one of the best kickers in the league. High-powered offense versus a bad defense. And he's number 5. Number 6, Brandon Aubrey, the Dallas Cowboys. So Brandon Aubrey, he's come out of nowhere this season here, where he pretty much wasn't a kicker in college or anything like that. More of a soccer player was Brandon Aubrey. But now signed with the Dallas Cowboys, and he hasn't missed a field goal this season. He's got another big boot as well, 50, 55 yards he can kick pretty easily. And he's got a good matchup indoors, which is obviously always a plus as well with the Los Angeles Chargers in a potential shootout on Monday Night Football. So right now, Aubrey top 10 in fantasy points at the kicker position. I know last week only 6 fantasy points, but this week I think more opportunities, and I got him at 6. Number 7, Jake Moody of the San Francisco 49ers. So he's on a high-powered offense, one of the best offenses in the league. I know last week and the week before we didn't see much from Moody, and they didn't have to be much, where this Niner team was scoring a lot of touchdowns and pretty much extra points were the only thing available for Moody. But this week here, Cleveland, I think this Brown defense is going to make a few stops where the Niners are going to have to settle for field goals. And Moody in a high-powered offense and a big boot is well drafted in the NFL draft this season. I got him at 7. Number 8, Cameron Dicker of the Los Angeles Chargers. So Dicker, he's been solid so far this season for the Chargers. And the shootout here versus the Dallas Cowboys most likely will happen here on Monday Night Football, where Dicker will get 4 field goal attempts and also a few extra points because, you know, Kellen Moore, former Dallas offensive coordinator, he wants to get this Charger offense going early and often in this game, push the ball down the field, get in the red zone, and he knows this Cowboy defense tendency, obviously playing versus them in practice for many seasons. So right now I think Dicker's going to have opportunities. He's a good kicker as well, and it's an indoor game at home in Los Angeles, and you can't beat that. Number 9, Younghoe Koo of the Atlanta Falcons. So Younghoe Koo, we know he's a better kicker at home than he is on the road, and last week he walked off with a game-winning field goal to beat the Houston Texans over there in Atlanta for this Falcon team. And now another home game versus the Washington Commanders, where they give up a lot of points this season. Last week we saw Cairo Santos have a big ball game versus Commander defense. And this week here, home game for Koo, indoors. Like I said, better at home than he is on the road. I have him in 9. Number 10, Ka'im Fairbairn of the Houston Texans. So Fairbairn the last 3 weeks, double-digit fantasy points. right now. And this Houston Texan team, they're getting in the red zone a lot. CJ Stroud, he's totally turned this offense around this season. After the last few years, Texan fans had to sit through Davis Mills starting at quarterback, and it's just been a train wreck. But right now, CJ Stroud getting his team in position. They're making new plays over there. Nico Collins having a breakout year. Tank Dell so far, a solid rookie season. And they're at least getting in field goal range. And Fairbairn's been a solid kicker for many years for this Texan team. So this weekend versus a bend but don't break type of New Orleans defense, I got him at 10, number 11, Jason Sanders of the Miami Dolphins. So right now, Sanders dropped down a little bit on the ranking list here because this Miami Dolphin team pretty much is a team that kicks all extra points, it feels like, each week in, week out, where he only gets 1 or 2 field goal attempts. So this week, I believe there'll be more of the same versus Carolina Panther defense that can't stop anyone. 0-5 on the season, worst team in the league. And right now, Sanders, he'll still get opportunities, but like I said, it might be more extra points than a lot of field goal attempts. And the 12th and final kicker I'm ranking this week here is Matt Gay, the Indianapolis Colts. So Gay signed one of the richest kicking contracts in NFL history, and he's been a solid kicker for the last few seasons with the Los Angeles Rams, and then signing here, like I mentioned, with the Indianapolis Colts in the offseason. So right now, last time Gardner Minshew started in Week 3 for this Indianapolis Colts team, Gay had a huge game at the Baltimore Ravens with 24 fantasy points. So right now, Jacksonville, they're a bend but don't break type of defense where they're giving up points in the range from 17 to 20 most games this season. I think Matt Gay's going to have a few opportunities in this one. Should be nice weather, good kickers field over there in Jacksonville. And I got him in 12, so that's the top 12 kickers I'm ranking here for Week 6 of the fantasy football season.